This is the Not Bitter, Just Better podcast.
The Everton our way.
Straight from the street end.
How's the blues? Welcome to the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. Mr. Johnny 7 here. Come on, you blues.
I will just repeat me intro there because when I did it, I recorded it and I've had to slow that down loads. So, howdy, Mr. Johnny 7 here. Welcome to the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. And I did the intro on last week's show in the interview area in a tunnel. And I thought that would be my last proper time at Goodison in that sense. But then I forgot we had Saturday as well. So before the Fulham game, Paul had another tour going on and we were part of that. So it wasn't my last time in that. So managed to get pitch side one. I was going to get one in the media room as well. But yeah, people hollering and trying to make a tit out of me. I was making a tit out of myself, so, you know. Recording on Thursday again this week. Wanted to record yesterday afternoon and then do, the usual kind of format, recap, news, look ahead to the game, but didn't get a chance. So I've been trying to do some other little bits. So while we're at it, I've just posted a video now, and I'm my little farewell. This was recorded before the announcement that the women's team will play all their games at Goodison from next season. It's a new home of the Everton women's team, which is great. I'll come on to that news a little bit later on properly, but I recorded this before then. And I've been trying to sort the sound out because it's been the wind was horrendous down Glasgow. Even though it was a gorgeous day, but the wind was awful. And I thought that was my little emotional tribute. And I've had this going round my head for ages. I said it last week. 30 years plus, my constant has been that place, Goodison Park. And anyway, here's my little tribute. Here for the second to last time ever. I've already been on a tour and was at the tour last week as well. Emotional both times. Didn't think about it well enough. In fact, filming now, he was well enough as well. And said it before on the podcast. This has been constant in my life for the last 30 plus years. Friends have come, friends have gone. Girlfriends come, girlfriends gone. Jobs. But this place, this has been my constant. So, ever get to like this sort of video like this ever again? So here we are. Okay, yeah. So the sound of music there is a classical rendition of Z Cars, in case you didn't recognise. And when I was putting it together, I was well enough even doing that. But I had to put something on there, as I say, because I managed to enhance the voice a little bit. But the wind noise was awful. So, yeah, apologies if I set a few heartstrings, pull on a few heartstrings there. Anyway, or you just think I'm a whopper, getting all emotional. Who knows? So another interesting week, exciting week being an Evertonian. Say exciting. It's exciting in a very different way than it has been over the past couple of years, hasn't it? So the match itself on Saturday, I'll come to in a bit, but that Saturday, the whole thing around Saturday, as I said before, one of the last ever tours. I say one of the last ever tours. It seems to have been chock-a-block. They seem to had a few going in before us, a few after. Paul put his own versions of it on, but they somehow messed the numbers up, and it's meant to be equal split. I think whatever it was, 40 and 40. But the first party who went in, they had loads in, so there was only a handful of us in the second part. So we had loads and loads of time, loads of space to take pickies and stuff, and loads of one-to-one time with the tours and all that, with the tour guides and that, and it was boss. It was our mate Ronnie, who did last week's one. It was a couple of younger fellas, younger than Ronnie anyway. Sorry, Ronnie, no offense. Um, so it was a different perspective again, and yeah, they don't know they know how to work the groups, them guys. So yeah, boss, really boss getting the emotion out of you again, and yeah, answering all your questions. So good stuff. But even before the game, messaging the lads, what time we're getting there and that. So that's we had to get there about 1:15, something like that. And then, as you many have heard me mention before, the Pat fans are now does the after game stuff at Segura, does his match day duties, and then comes down there and does like his Segura duties, I guess. But he's become I guess he's become our mate now as well. So which is odd. Um, yeah, so we kind of met him beforehand down there. You have to drop some stuff off, and then Mark Ward pulls up in a taxi as well. So we all headed up there, and we had the opportunity to just like talk to those guys again, and just you know going around and getting that insight from them, and it's them telling us like it's not changed a bit, and it's it's mad, hasn't it? Because a lick of paint here and there, but hearing that from them, it's just amazing insight, really. So, really, a pleasure to be in their company again, and I've said that loads about Pat. So, yeah, so that was a nice kick off for the day, and then we watched the game through satellites bouncing off. Yeah, I can't say too much more about that, but we managed to see it anyway. Everton away to Fulham, Saturday, the 10th of May, 2025, Craven Cottage. Referee, Darren England. And starting lineups for Fulham, Bert Leno, next one. Tate, Wackham Anderson, Calvin Bassey, and Sessegnon. Midfield, Sanderberg, Andres Pereira. Attack, Harry Wilson, Emil Smith Rowe, and Alex Iwobi. And I think I'm not sure if this lineup's wrong here. I'll come on to that in a minute. Anyway, and Jimenez up top. Ooh. Everton lineup: Pickford, Ashley Young, Michael Keane, Jared Branthwaite, and Mikalenko. What's interesting about that defence there, Ashley Young picked at right back again, and I mentioned this last week over Patterson. And when he went off after an hour in the last game he started, I thought that didn't bode well for this game and the future games. And I don't know, maybe reading a little bit more into that than there is there, but it doesn't look good for Patterson. Midfield, Idrissa Gana Gay and James Garner. In attack ish. Jack Harrison, Carlos Alcaraz, and Abdullah Decore. So yeah, he's brought Alcaraz back in and made space for kept Decore in there as well. And up top, Beto again. So, um, yeah, Everton. I haven't got a lot. I'm not going to go through all the match timeline and key events apart from the goals because everyone will have seen it now. But just talking a little bit about the goals. For Fulham took the lead and it woke up Everton up a little bit. Um, some good work from Emil Smith Rowe down there, left hand side of their left hand side, our right hand side of the penalty box, and put a cross into the middle, and Jimenez come in on the back of Mikalenko. Rose above him really well actually to head past Pickford to give Fulham the lead, and it wasn't the best defender from the Blues again. Mikalenko kind of drifted into the middle to cover Jimenez, but where were the two big lads? So disappointing for them not to be doing anything there. I thought it was Garner again, but who he got in on the back of, but I don't think it was good defending overall. So decent enough start, but then Everton, it's just not a whole lot about us. Just before half time, though, we were lucky to get an equaliser. Bent Leno, nice one again. Weak punch from the corner, fell to Vitaly Mikalenko. that sweet left foot of his, shot from the edge of the box and it deflected off Pereira and into the net, leveling the score. So we go in half time 1-1, and then a couple of changes. McNeil comes on 61st minute, Nzai 61st minute for Harrison and Decore. Fulham make a couple of one sub, Traore for Emil Smith Rowe, and then I think it was around this time Pickford made a wonder save from Wilson. I haven't got when that actually happened, but he starts to come a little bit for a through ball, which is played down their wing, but realizes he's not going to make it, so starts making his way back to to the into his own 6 yard box, and a great effort from Wilson. And Pickford managed to shuffle his feet and get back and make a great save. I put out on our Facebook at the time, just little arms, because it really was a cracking save. And I don't know whether that was before or after the goal. Bear in mind, we're watching this in a bar, surrounded by other Blues, and yeah, it was tricky. So, and anyway, the Blues managed to take the lead. 70th minute, McNeil, who's come on as a sub, to deliver the deep corner that Michael Keane bulleted home at the back post, and everyone groaned when they saw Michael Keane in the starting 11. They didn't groan here. And you know what though? When he put the ball in as well, there was a lot of shouts from the away fans. I wonder how much grief Keane gets from. This is no disrespect to people who don't go to the game or whatever, because people, they still watch and still consume everything. But he seems to have a pretty decent reception at away games and stuff. So I don't know. But he got a good shout, and he had a good game overall as well. I think Alcaraz did well to win that corner. So Blues are 2-1 up, and shortly after that, the Blues unbelievably go 3-1 up. Alcaraz played the through ball. I think it clipped someone on the way through, but still Alcaraz's assist. And Beto coming through on our left hand side and takes a shot quite early. Good counter attack and break. And it wasn't the most powerful of shot. Decent enough effort from, as I say, took it early from the edge of the box. And Leno's had a mare with it. It's gone through his hands, and the Blues are 3-1 up. So, great turnaround there. And we survived that pretty well without a lot of threat. The biggest threat that we had was in the 91st minute. There was a VAR review where a cross came in, and from quite close range, hit Mikalenko on his hand, and it went to VAR for a potential handball, for the penalty, and Darren England did the old wave away and disagreed with the VAR decision, which was so refreshing. And I don't know why he was called over for that. Well, because we're Everton, so goes without saying, doesn't it? Couple more changes. Edabunam replaced Alcaraz in the 84th minute, and Calvert-Lewin and Coleman came on to replace Beto and Garnegay. So good to see Coleman back again. And are we going to see him on Sunday? We've got to, haven't we? So overall, wrapping up, Everton secured a 3-1 away victory against Fulham, coming from behind to dent the Cottages' European aspirations. Propelled us to 13th place with 42 points. So anyway, broke that 40-point mark anyway, while Fulham remained 11th with 51. 4 points adrift of the coveted 8th spot. So yeah, massive dent in their hopes. Match statistics: possession, Fulham 64, Everton 36. Said it many a time. We do better when others have the ball, because we can't keep it. Shots on target 18. Shots on target 18, with 6 on target for Fulham, 11 with 7 on target for the Blues. Passes 452 for Fulham, only 221 for Everton, and their passing accuracy was 84% compared to our 76. 15 fouls for them versus 9 to us, and yellows 1 to them and 0 for us, which is refreshing. Corners 5 to them and 5 to us, and clearances 30 for them and 43 to us, which suggests that we were on the back foot a lot more. Post-match reactions from Marco, obviously former Everton manager. Story of our last 3 or 4 games. Goals have come from set pieces. We have to be willing to fight, do our job, and we didn't. It's about concentration and focus. And Moisey said it didn't look like we would win after the first 20 minutes. I thought we were terrible on the ball, but we stuck at it. We are a resilient crew, and the players did a good job in the end. And Moisey's got them doing that. In the past, we might have been, once they went 1-0 down, our whole aspiration from the game would have been stick in there and try and get a draw. But we managed to, get quite a jammy goal to get back in. And rather than sit there and accept that, we chased it down and came away with a really good away win there. So for the game against Ipswich, where we could could potentially have lost, but going in, you would have really expected us to get a win against Ipswich. No disrespect, but they are relegated, so you take the Fulham victory. So 2 more games now, and hopefully we can get at least 1 win from them. Fulham began the match assertively, controlling possession, creating early chances, but they couldn't capitalise. Everton, despite slow start, showcased the resilience, as Moisey said, and tactical adaptability. Introduction of McNeil added width and delivery quality, which we have been missing, leading to Keane's goal. And Beto's persistence paid off. So Beto back to 2 goals and 2 appearances again. So into double figures for him for the season. And we were able to be resilient in defence afterwards to secure the 3 points. So, yeah, as I said before, great away win, and it led to a few more scoops. This is quite, it's quite common amongst the podcast me discussing this. So yeah, so as I think I've mentioned our normal kind of routine. We have a few pints, and Mark, Paul's place, but Mark, one of my oldest schoolmates, he was there with us this time. We have a few pints, and then it kind of gets to a certain when we're all like middle-aged men, and we can't handle the pints anymore, so we move on to the spirits, and the spirits of the blues. Yeah, there we go. And so this time we start having a few, and then one of the players who was on duty. I won't go into too much on this, but gets a call that he's been asked if he would fancy doing an 80th birthday party later on that night in the Brian Labone suite up in the ground, and so the Paul and Jen, who normally do the more normally handle that kind of stuff. Paul was going off quite early, and Jen was managing the bar stuff and married to Mark, and they couldn't end up doing it with the player, the ex-player. And so they were like, "Oh, do you fancy going up there?" And I'm already half a bottle in at the moment. At that time, I'm like, "How am I going to do this and behave?" So I immediately shot around, got some pizza, tried to soak some of that up, and then went back onto the sensible drinks again. And yeah, it was bizarre. Just going back up into the grounds, 7, 8 o'clock, and as I said, 80th birthday party, and just being there as this kind of minder or something, I guess. Like, what's my life become? Great, it's amazing stuff, and it's I know Paul does this all the time, and I remember the first time he started doing it, and it's so old to him now when he has to do all this kind of stuff that it's to me it's still like I have to pinch myself. I'm like, these are like my heroes still growing up, and yeah, this is what I said. Potentially doing a podcast with one of the Blues, like Mark Ward or someone. I don't know whether I'd have the. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so a great away day, and all the Blues who were down there looked like they had a ball as well. So brought us back to 3 points. So and what looked like it might have been fizzling out a little bit. Our end of season looks like we might be back on track to ending with a bit of a bang, and broke that 40 points, which looked like an impossibility just a few short months ago, and we can look into the next two games now, and if we do manage to get a one victory out of them, then it is really a solid end to the season. So yeah, there we go. So gonna leave that there, and I will return in a second with some Everton news.
This is Bob Latchford. I'm not bitter, just better.
News.
Okay, so the Everton news of the week. I don't think I've. Oh yeah, I've got it mentioned at the bottom here. So I'm going to start off with the biggie. So the last game. I'll talk about the news aspect of it, and then and then I'll talk about the match preview in the third part of the show. So the last game, the last men's game ever at Goodison or full team. You've got to put a caveat with this now, haven't you? With the news, the latest news of the week. So, but it is Everton as we've known it for most of our lifetimes. As a middle-aged man and a 30 plus year season ticket holder, it's our emotional farewell to Goodison Park. Our home since 1892. The final. This sums it up quite nicely. The final men's Premier League game, yeah, at the stadium will be against Southampton on Sunday, and there was the worry that it would move to a daft kickoff time. I think we got a decent deal out of it here with that 12 p.m. kickoff rather than being like a late game on the Sunday night. Even like 6 would have been all right, I guess. We couldn't have done the 4 o'clock. It needed to be on its own. There was talk about it being moved to a Monday or even a Tuesday night. But I think we got a good deal in the end. 12 p.m. on that Sunday, which is going to mean about an 8 a.m. start for Blues in the city. If Blues coming from further afield, it's going to be like you're going to have to set off in the early hours, aren't you? So, and the match will be broadcast live on TNT Sports, and I think they've done a little tribute to it. There's been lots of tributes this week. I didn't manage to catch the Sky Sports one. I'm going to have to try and get that in retrospect, and hopefully Peter Reid still swears on it. Yeah, because it was in work. So anyway. In a special exemption to Premier League rules, fans will be allowed to consume alcohol within view of the pitch. It says during the match, yeah. I thought it was just after the match when that would be mad because I'm already pissed by the time I get there anyway. But that'd be good. In fact, will it be good? We'll see. Pre-match events including appearances by club legends, live music, and post-match events and memorable match replays. And I saw Tony Bellew and Gethin Jones, I think it was, who were going to be hosting some of the events throughout the day. Yeah, so there's still no real confirmation. What I've heard is we know that the bar is going to close at 2:45. So 12 o'clock kickoff, say with whatever added on time, you're gonna be looking at what, like 12:47, 12:50, which means the second half will kick off about 1. Well, about 1, which means that'll take you up to with any like maybe say 5 minutes. That'll take you up to what 10 to 5 to 2, which gives you 45 minutes to go down and get a drink or two, and then come back up to your seats for the post-match activities. This is, I don't know. This is going to depend. Are people going to be running onto the pitch? Apparently, they got 15 minutes after the final whistle to get a stage built. So obviously that piece that together. They're not going to and build the stage from scratch, are they? So, uh, yeah, but that's going to I guess it's going to depend on the match as well. If it's like an emotional 98th minute winner, then everyone's going to go ballistic, aren't they? Um, I'll come on to this other news now. Like, so what we caveat before, so Everton's women are going to be it's going to be the permanent home for Everton's women from the start of next season, following a decision by the Freakin Group, obviously based in America, where women's football has a lot it's held in quite high esteem. So they look like the main business in that sense. And the rest of the announcement there is that the stadium will also host selected academy matches and expands Everton the community's presence. So that's great news in my opinion. There, the talk was here: could they have waited to announce that after? Has it taken the edge off it being the last time for people to visit? And in a sense, I think potentially it has, but then it's good to know that you can go back. I think part like the Everton men's Premier League team, top flight team, or main team, our time with that there has gone after this weekend. A new era is starting. So whatever we do on Sunday, that is us saying goodbye to what we know, and then whatever they do from that, that's a new Goodison. They'll still do club tours and stuff that I imagine. There's still a lot of history that will, but it's not going to take away from our own farewell to there, is it? And if we do go and visit again, it'll be like, so I guess it's like when you leave school or leave your job or whatever. If you go back, you're not carrying on your school life or your job. You're just a visitor, aren't you? And in the future, rather than being custodians of our seat or what in that sense we'll just be visitors. Yeah, and it's nice to know that it still will be there for that. But the reason I was bringing that up, I wonder whether this announcement has been done now so that there isn't the mass destruction and people taking the seats and stuff like that. I wonder whether that the announcement will make a difference to that even. um I did hear though. I don't know whether I mentioned this last week. I'm still torn about me seat. I do want to get it because I want to get I want to get the display case. And what I was thinking was, wouldn't it be nice if the club put a bit of a sweetener on this? There's 40,000. A lot of them are away seats. You're not going to be able to get some of the seats as well. Not all of them. Maybe 10% will get that. Is that too much to have? Maybe throw, maybe even throw 20 quid on and just say, get some Everton. People who mean a lot to Everton. Coleman, Pickford, Moyes, some old players. Get them to put a signature on it. What would that be too much? If you say you put that up to 120 quid, um, would you still have what 10 would you get 10,000? Because you can't have them signing 10,000 seats, can you? So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too rose tinted or yeah, pie in the sky kind of thing. But even with that, say people do go. I have heard this. I think it was from when West Ham went. They did a similar kind of thing where you could buy your seat, and one of their fans did take their own seat and took it out with them under their arm, but they'd already ordered the seat package. So, but when they got home with the seat, and within a few days or a week or whatever, they got the commemorative frame with a seat in it. So, are these seats coming from the Gladys Street, or are these just coming from a warehouse somewhere? And I don't know. And what does that mean? Is it the commemorative kind of plaque that represents your seat, or is it the thing that you've sat in for the past 30 years? And it's what would people want? I mean, it's interesting, and I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it. I guess we don't have much say in how we feel about it. It is what it is. But anyway, it's going to be, I've put out on that video before, well enough. When we were in the two lounges, it was in the 1878 club and the 1985 club in Goodison. When they were telling the stories and being around all those pictures and stuff like that, it's walking out onto the pitch with Z cars and not onto the pitch, but up through the tunnel and into the dugout and stuff. Um, yeah, I'm an emotional person anyway, and it's going to be tricky for sure. So anyway, I hope to see some of you guys there, and we'll we'll be able to have a drink. So give me a little drink clink, cheers and that. So I'll move on now to some of the other Everton news. So it was funny last week. There's been like really conflicting kind of stuff this week. So last Friday, it was kind of put out there, solid rumor. This is after I put the podcast out. Solid rumor that the interest in Richarlison was growing. So exploring a deal to re-sign him from Spurs, and apparently they still owe us money for it, so it would be um, a reduced fee anyway. But Moisey was asked about it in the pre-match presser and completely said there was no interest. So whether that was just trying to diffuse the rumours, we never know. The Liam Delap interest has continued. Still, that it just doesn't seem to go away. And why would it until he signs for someone else or signs for the Blues? Again, I don't know where this is coming from, but Moyes is ready to trigger the clause to make Alcaraz's loan move permanent. And I don't see why he wouldn't, but I think in us not triggering the activation where we have to purchase him at that price, I wonder whether they will try and bargain a little bit more and try and get him for a million or two less, or try and get more of a package kind of deal in case it does go south in 6 months or so. So that's interesting. Apparently, Jordan Pickford, who's got a new song that he's very happy with, is looking for a contract extension and a pay rise to continue his career at Everton. And I think that the time for Pickford, he was linked with a move away from Everton a few times over the past few years. I think the time for him to move has probably passed if he's going to go anywhere up. And if you think about it, I don't think he's the type of keeper who Chelsea and, well, he's never going to go to the shite, is he? Chelsea, Arsenal, who else would he go to? He's never going to go to Newcastle, Tottenham, and Man U. Yeah, I mean, why would he at this point? So where could he go? Yeah, I guess as time goes on, if Sunderland's got through in the playoffs the other night, didn't they? If they ever get through, if they do get up into the Prem in a season or two, then for him to go back there might make some kind of sense when he's on the downward trajectory, or if they surpass us. That's the only thing I could see happening. But it looks like he's been at Everton. He's been an amazing keeper for Everton, and I think he'll continue to be that. So. Captain at the moment in Coleman and Tarkovsky's absence. So, yeah, another one of those conflicting kind of things, Decore. Decore did a sit down interview he was on the podcast with Ben Foster, and then he put these comments out which didn't sit particularly well with Everton fans, saying that, you know, if the club did offer him a salary cut, why would he accept it? He doesn't deserve a salary cut. He still plays week in, week out. If anything, he deserves an increase. And yeah, it rubbed a lot of Blues up the wrong way. But he must have seen that because he did a sit down extended interview with Toffee TV this week, and apparently he's received a lot of positive feedback from it as well. So, but he has stated that Everton is his first choice. It's all well and good saying Everton is his first choice, but if he's after a wage increase, I don't think he's going to get that. He still does seem like he's one of Moyes' favoured players. despite Alcaraz and Erabunum, they're waiting in the wings. So even on maybe Moyes might just offer him the same wage for another year or two. But what do we know as fans? He's 32 and he's one of the highest earners. So we see him as a downward trajectory in his career. Um, Maybe Moyes doesn't. Maybe Moyes sees him for a good season or two. As a first choicer. So we don't know, but he has made it clear that he will not accept a salary cut. Well, we'll see how that goes anyway. But I can't see him being offered the same or more. So that's going to dictate whether he stays or not, isn't it? Apparently, contract talks have started with Coleman over a player coach role, and that's um, considering offering him that, considering his recognises long service. But I think that is going to be more of a token kind of gesture if it is offered. But I heard some rumours today that he was up at the club filming a retirement video, which that'd be heartbreaking as well if that's true. That was just a lad in work who mentioned that. I don't know where that's come from. So you just hear these things, don't you? Bainesy's dad's whatever taxi driver. That's what it used to be, then. But yeah, I hope it isn't true. I hope he can. And apparently as well, Ashley Young's being touted to stay for another season. And I think, after the shaky start with Everton, he's really turned it around. He's really a good, consistent performer, offers you a lot of experience in a number of different roles, and he seems to be preferred over Patterson at the moment. So, um, talking about between Coleman and maybe Patterson and Young at the weekend, if Coleman is fit, what would be the ideal scenario? Would it be him, captain's armband, leading the team out for the last ever men's game at Goodison, or would it be him coming on in the 70th minute or 75th minute, walking over to Pickford, putting the armband on, and having that whole crowd to himself, and finishing the game as Everton's captain? Both would be special for me and for Coleman, I imagine. So hopefully one of those scenarios will come to light. I hope, if he is on the bench, like nothing like upsets the possibility that happen, like injuries or anything, and that does happen. Yeah, we'll see. The final little bit. So Angus Kinnear has officially started. Leeds got their promotion, so he was meant to start on June 1st, and he's come in early to start his role within Everton. So already got his got some business underway as part of restructuring under the Freakin group. So started his job early, and hopefully he'll do a better job than the last few, although Felwell ultimately was a little bit 50-50 in his. He did some good stuff and probably um, turned it round a little bit in Evertonians' eyes in his last few months with the club. So, yeah, so there's the Everton news of the week. Still not many rumours and that going on. I think a lot of the focus this week is towards that last game. Oh yeah, I just mentioned the rumours. So as mentioned last week, Stuart Tagg said about he can't wait to get back to his seat in time for Atomic Kitten and Sonia performing. It doesn't look like it's going to be Paul McCartney, does it? So, but another rumor again was the Lars, Lee Mathers, apparently Big Blue. Um, so that would be um, considered a little bit of a one-hit wonder in a wider. I can only name a couple of songs by them, but I think they were just before my kind of time. Obviously, There She Goes and Don't Go Down to the Doldrums. But yeah, whatever they play, um, it'll be. I'm sure it'll go down well. A few older fans, like Everton the Gear, and they put a lot of stuff to do with that kind of it's kind of pre Britpop indie Britpop was more like my kind of era, along with like the grunge and then metal kind of thing, as you can probably tell. So just kind of missed out on that a little bit. But and the other one was the farm, and people kind of saying that isn't one of the Peter Hooton a red, like, but the rest of the band did one of the best footy songs ever. So for Everton, so I'm sure that would work out fine. Other ones, the Cult get Ian Asprey on there doing his weird pirate dance, and yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, if we can't get McCartney. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's the Everton news of the week. This is going to be my longest show in ages, and I'm recording on Thursday night, and don't even know whether people can have a chance to listen to it before Saturday. But there we go. I'll put it out early. Anyway, here are our socials. Go give us a follow, etc.
This is the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. If you haven't already, go and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/EFC Not Bitter, Just Better, or you can find us on Twitter at Just Better EFC.
Yeah, so it seems every week lately, I'm apologising for not putting as much content out. It's just the tail end of my year, where everything is just chock-a-block, coinciding with the tail end of the footy season, unfortunately. So I am still putting stuff out there. Been trying to get loads of stuff together, but it's the personal touch rather than Everton news at the moment, and that's been it's been tricky to juggle. It always is. But as always, some kind of good growth working towards 12,000. And new pages coming in well surpassing us. That's fine. But I don't think we've kind of deviated from what we are as an Everton supporter page podcast. We don't try and be experts. I've admitted many a time on here to just chatting utter wham, but it does seem to resonate with people, and people have messaged me from all over the world. So it's nice, to kind of get some kind of momentum going again. So that's good. That's when it started again. It was about 10,000. So yeah, 2,000 over a month, just a couple of months growth. Yeah, can't be sneezed at, can it? Where are we? Oh yeah. So the small matter of the match preview now for Everton versus Southampton. Sunday, May 18th, 2025. A day that will go down in history. Being broadcast live on TNT and the USA Network in America and loads of other places around the world. Match marks final men's Premier League game at Goodison Park. Everton's home since 1892. And we aim to conclude this historic chapter with a victory against already relegated Southampton. And we owe them one. How we lost against them earlier on in the season is beyond me. One of the worst teams ever in history, almost the worst team statistically ever in the Premier League, but not quite. And out of all the teams that you could potentially pick at the start of the season to have your last ever home game at Goodison Park against, for big match kind of vibes, you might choose a derby, but you don't want to be leaving there with how derbies often go for us, do you? So this would be the one that many would pick, and we've just got to do better than we did against Ipswich. We can't let the event overtake and the emotion overtake like what they actually need to go out and do, and that is go out and take care of business. Kind of put emotion to one side for some part of it, but also draw on that Goodison crowd and allow us to spare them on. There's going to be some nerves. It's kind of event wise at Goodison. It's probably going to be similar in kind of nerves, but under very different circumstances to that the Wimbledon game. As I say, very very different circumstances there, but the nerves are going to be, and the emotion, I think, is going to be similar in a similar kind of ballpark. So, and then on that day, obviously, there was a very, very nervy start, and we ended up going 2-0 down there. So, we don't want anything daft like that. Potential lineup for the Blues, obviously Pickford. Defenders, this is where it could be interesting. Um, O'Brien didn't play at the weekend, picked up a niggle in injury in training. If he comes back, he did put some stuff out on social media before. I don't know whether he's been cleared. Not 100% sure if he's available. It just says doubtful. But so if he's fit, is he going to come in at right back? Is he going to come in as centre back for Michael Keane? Who's going to play at right back though? Because you've got potentially Patterson, who's going to be at the club for another season or two, contract wise at least, unless Moyes doesn't fancy him, which it doesn't look like he does. Ashley Young, who seems to be go to if those two players won't make it, and then we've got the potential of Coleman coming on and captaining the club for the last ever game there. So there might be a little bit of a reshuffle. It looks as safe that Brandthwaite and Mikalenko will play though. Midfield, so the holding two look certain to be Idrissa Gueye and James Garner. And then attacking midfield, I can't see many changes here, although there are some options. It's a very different game against Fulham, so I can't really see him going with Harrison, Decore, and Alcaraz when you've got Ndiaye and McNeil on the bench there. I can see one of them coming in. I just don't know who for. He seems to like Harrison putting a shift in. His output isn't as much as you would want, goal contribution wise and assists. But he does like the fact that he puts a shift in. So that'll be interesting to see. And for the last game, he's gone with Beto. Beto's got 2 in his last 2. So I can only see it being Beto up top. Again, it's going to be interesting to see who is preferred on the bench. He's gone with Calvert-Lewin on the bench for the last couple and brought him on. And he said something the other day about, I think he still fancies Calvert-Lewin as the best striker at the club. It's just whether he can get some kind of fitness together. He might be pushing. He had about 20 minutes in the game before last, and a minute or two against Fulham. He's going to get another week of training in there. It could well feature from the start. But my thoughts are he'll go with Beto. Obviously unavailable, Tarkowski, although I did see some murmurs that he might be back for the final game against Newcastle. Lindstrom out, and obviously the doubt there is O'Brien. I don't think we're going to see Broja against one of his former loan teams, but Alcaraz against a team that he spent some time on loan against. Their potential lineup: Ramsdale, Harvard Bellis, Bednarek, and Stevens, Taylor. How many players have these got here? Yeah, sorry. James Bray, Flynn Downs, Ogachukwu, Wellington, and attacking midfielders, Ballard and Sulemana, and Onauchu up top. So they've got their potential unavailable Fraser, Grumba, and Charlie Taylor. Southampton used to have a handful. The only ones who I could name there and pick out of a lineup are potentially Ramsdale, Bednarek, Stevens, and Solomana. In fact, I couldn't even pick them out of a lineup. I just know their names. That probably says more about me not paying much attention to the rest of the Premier League over the last few years. But yeah. Everton wants to watch. If Beto starts, he's get the balls in front of him, and he'll do the business. Scoring in the last 2, and he could really put the cat amongst the pigeons against a very, very weak side. Hopefully, Alcaraz, impressed with his creativity, and he could really control this game. And then Pickford could be the man who leads us out on this game. So, it was busy in certain spells last week against Fulham when he was needed to be. I couldn't do much about the Jimenez goal, but as I said before, a great save from Wilson. So, yeah. And it'd be good for him to go out away from Goodison in the last game with a clean sheet. And Onuachu from Southampton, want to watch, especially from set pieces. Ramsdale. Ramsdale's mostly a good goalkeeper, but he's made a few mistakes, and which led to him being at Southampton and not at Arsenal. So, but still, it can be an excellent keeper on his day. Everton's recent form: won, drawn, lost, lost, won. Starting with the most recent, and Southampton's is drawn, and then 2 losses, and then another draw and a loss. So, and that was against City, Leicester, and Fulham, who they lost against, drew with West Ham, and then they lost to Villa. So the draw with Man City, it just that hopefully woke up Everton a little bit, so that this game isn't a given, and especially on the back of the Ipswich game. So we need to be switched on for this. Moisey's so head to heads in the last 5 meetings, Southampton have won 3 times while Everton have won only twice. So again, not a given. Moisey on this, in fact, I'll go with Rusk, who's Southampton interim manager. Despite our relegation, the players are motivated to end the season positively. Facing Everton in the final game of Goodison adds to the occasion. And Moisey on this final game of Goodison, it's a significant moment for the club and the fans. We aim to honour Goodison Park with a performance that reflects its legacy, and I hope we all do. So, yeah, Moisey isn't soft, is he? It'll be interesting to see what he has to say in his press conference tomorrow, but it probably will be about paying tribute, but keeping the players grounded and not letting the occasion get the better of them. Words to that effect. And hopefully his lineup will reflect that, and the Blues will come out and absolutely blow Southampton away, and give us something to sing about for the rest of the day. And I've decided, normally I have a couple of scoops after work on a Friday, go to pitches, and then couple of drinks in town. Saturday match days are normally quite heavy. I'm going to behave. It's all about Sunday for me this week. Worried about work Monday, so I'm going to take it easy tomorrow and Saturday, and then that early start on Sunday, try and pace myself, although that's not easy being a Blue, and just make it all about that game and just soak up as much as I can, and it's just going to be mad, isn't it? So as I say, hopefully, luckily a lot of the fellas around us are going to be we've all gone and got our seats together again, but there will be a few tearful farewells to a few people who won't be. So best part of most of a lot of them for 30 plus years, as I mentioned before. Some of them joined the last 20 odd years, but see them more than see half my family. So it's a strange one. Yeah. So this podcast this time next week is going to be post Everton being at Goodison. So all different. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining me again, Blues. I've waffled on a lot more, but it seemed like quite a big show, this one. So yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, just keep spreading the word for us, keep interacting. I am going to be working hard to get a lot more content out there post Goodison. Hopefully get some good sound bites and stuff from the weekend, and get some video footage of when Paul McCartney steps out. Who knows? Doubt it. But anyway, let's do it. Let's do Southampton. Let's send Goodison off with a bang. Come on, you Blues.